Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. It is called The 5 Pitfalls of an Agile Team and How to Overcome Them. My name is Alex Mazurek with Quint Redwood, and I'll be your host today. Now just a couple ground rules before we get started. First off, the audio is being transmitted via your computer, so everything's muted on your end, so you can hear us, but we can't hear you obviously. But you can use the questions panel. It should appear at the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and ask a question there during any portion of this webinar, and we're going to have a designated session at the end in which I read the questions aloud, and our presenter today, Gwendolyn, will answer them for all to hear. And last off, we are recording this webinar, and a link to the video will be sent to all attendees later on in the follow-up. So if you need to leave early for any reason, don't worry, you'll be able to catch the rest of it on a recording later on. So now just a few things about Quint before we jump into things. Quint is a global organization that's been in business for 25 years now. We have over 200 consultants that are delivering projects on just about every continent around the world. We deliver training and consulting services, and for the last 3 years now, actually make it 4, the world's best outsourcing advisor selected by the IAOP. And we're also founding members of organizations such as the Lean IT Association and the DevOps Agile Skills Association and all their assorted trainings. And these are our capabilities and all of our practices. We offer digital strategy and transformation, Lean Agile DevOps, of course, help companies with their data management, transformational leadership, their sourcing strategy and benchmarking, governance, risk, and compliance, service integration and management, or SIEM, and of course training and coaching. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to today's presenter, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alex, and welcome from my side as well. I'm a consultant with Quint, and I'm specialized in Agile and DevOps transformations, and I do coaching and also trainings. And what I really would like to achieve is that I search for people's purpose and that I connect this to the goals of the team and also to the goals of the organization. So what I encounter in my daily coaching is that I see many Agile teams, but I also see many pitfalls of them. So I would like to take you through the most common pitfalls today, and I'm happy that I'm here to talk about this to you. But first, let me tell you the agenda of today. I will tell you a bit more what is an Agile team, the 5 most common pitfalls, but then the main question, how to overcome these and how do we get started. First of all, briefly, what is an Agile team? These are the 12 Agile principles for teams, and I would like to pick 3 of them because I think those are the most important 3. First of all, is build projects around motivated individuals. It all starts with motivation. It all starts with individuals that really want to achieve a thing. If you have people in a team that do not know why they're there or they are not motivated on reaching the goal, you will not get there. So build projects around motivated individuals. Build your teams with motivated individuals. Then another one is face-to-face conversations. What you see often is that people are not sitting together, but that's not the only thing. It's about trust. Face-to-face, it all starts with that. Just trust people and also have contact with them. You cannot have a self-steering team if you do not trust each other, if you do not know what you can ask from each other. You need to know what people can achieve and what people's core qualities are. The last one is, I think, the really best part of it, of Agile, maximizing the amount of work not to be done. It sounds a bit silly, but that's, I think, the basic principle. We are humans, we are trying to do as much as we can, and we try to do it as fast as we can, but we cannot do everything at the same time. So keep it simple. Simplicity is one of the basics in an Agile team. Maximize the work not to be done, so focus on the work you are doing and do that in a right and correct way. Then the Agile team. It is a cross-functional team that consists of representatives from all disciplines, and the team is responsible for creating the desired outcome. And it consists of 4 aspects. It's agility, self-organizing, cross-functionality, and no sub-teams. To say a little bit more about agility, the team is focused on creating customer value and is transparent on performance, progress, and impediments. The team members help each other to deliver the value according to the committed quality, value, and time. About the self-organizing, the teams need to know how they get the work done in the best possible way. And most of the times the team wants to be part of the innovative organization with a collaborative culture. And it means, the cross-functionality, it means that teams are responsible end-to-end, from the beginning till the end. Our required competence to accomplish the job should be present in the whole team. So complementary skills, like T-shaping, is needed. The last part is no sub-teams. A team is a collaboration group of people, and if there are any sub-teams, collaboration cannot be reached optimal. So the conclusion is, Agile teams are fully empowered and self-sufficient to create the desired outcome. So as an Agile coach, I'm honored and pleased to talk to you about this subject today. Because I encounter teams and I really want to help them to get agile and also high performing, but I see that sometimes they have challenges and pitfalls. So from this perspective, I would like to elaborate more on the pitfalls and challenges I see in these teams. There are 5 of them that I see most often. That is taking agile too literally, finding excuses for not having a feedback loop, implementing without knowledge or perseverance, the lack of trust, and as last, staying a team for too long. So to start with taking agile too literally, I often hear in every training, in every team, the Agile Manifesto tells us to not have processes and tools, not to have documentation, not to have contracts, and not to have a plan, because we need to have interaction and we need to have working software and we have to respond to change and we have to have collaboration. But when you focus on the left part of the Agile Manifesto, it does not mean you do not need processes or documentation or contracts. You still need those, but you have to focus more on the left part. So the thing what you should do is create what is necessary, create the plan, create a contract, create documentation and create processes, but do focus on the things on the left. First of all, you need process in place, documentation, contracts, and a plan. But the way you do it, the way you work, that's when you should focus on interaction, working software, collaboration, and responding to change. So create what is necessary, but also then adapt it when it's needed. So follow the plan, but if you encounter changes, respond to them in the best possible way. That means use Agile to reach your real goals and do not make Agile becoming your goal, becoming Agile your goal. Because I see that so much in organizations, the question, what is asked to us as coach, we want to become Agile, help us. I think that's a question you should ask. What really true goal do you need to achieve? Is that I want to have more speed to market? Do you want to have more maneuverability? Use Agile to reach that real goal. Another pitfall that I see often is finding excuses for not having a feedback loop. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just human nature. People do not like to talk about what they did. People do not like to talk about improvements. And most beginning teams are a bit scared to have retrospectives. It is really scary to talk about what you did wrong, but it's not about what you did wrong. It's about to learn on things that on the way you did it. We can only learn if we make mistakes. And it are maybe not mistakes, but it's just the things you do. You have to talk about it to see how you can improve and how you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle. If you ride a bike, you cannot ride it at once. You have to learn it step by step, and in the end, you're very good at it. But if you do not try and try again, then you will never learn it. So take time, sit together and talk about what you want to achieve. And that's not the only thing. It's not only feedback from within the team, it's also from the customer. You need feedback from the customer. We all do remember that picture from the old projects or waterfall projects. The customer wanted in the first way, but in the end, the developer built it a whole different way. And then you have, as a customer, you do not get the things you really wanted. So that's why Agile is invented in the first place, or that's what I believe. You need to have short feedback loop with your customer. Check regularly what he or she wants, and then you can adapt and really make what they want to achieve. So my advice will be, take time to discover, and it is really important to know what is wrong or to know what you can improve. And don't be afraid that asking your client or customer is seen as a failure. It is seen as a really good thing. If you ask your customer, is this really what you want, or do you want to change or adapt it? That is seen as really something that can be a success. So do not be afraid that asking is seen as failure. And ask for help if you cannot fix the problem, or if you cannot deliver what is asked. Because you can better say it up front, or when you encounter it, then leave it like it is. And as the last part, do not be afraid to make mistakes. You can only learn if we make those mistakes, and have courage to use it in practice. So it all comes to have courage and just practice it. Another thing I encounter is implementing Agile without any knowledge or perseverance. Sometimes I'm asked as a coach, can you please help my teams to work in an Agile way? And then my first question is, do all the team members have knowledge about Agile? Do they know what is expected from them? Sometimes I get the answers, no, that's what we want to do along the way. I think you can learn Agile, but you have to know what is expected from you. And so you need to be educated what Agile is, but also where do you want to go as a organization? What is the dot on the horizon? So you can only expect from people that where to go if you tell them what is expected from them. Take it step by step, and accept that people will make mistakes and that they have to learn the way Agile works. And of course, learning can only be done by doing, but you need a kind of basis. And you can expect from people that they have to behave differently. You have to behave in an Agile way if they don't know what it is. So it all starts with coaching, educating, and helping them to understand how to behave. What is Agile? You cannot throw them into the deep and that they have to figure it out. So help the teams, help the people, and help them to get there and help them to know what they have to know. And that means that you have to help the people to also create that Kaizen mindset. I'm not sure if you all know the story about making a tower with spaghetti and marshmallows, but if we give this to a team of children of 4 and 5 years old, they can build the highest tower you want. But if you give this to a team of managers, in the end, the tower will fall down. That means that the mindset that children have is the Kaizen mindset. They will take it step by step, try and again try, and if it doesn't work, they will find another way. So help people get into this Kaizen mindset and to know what Agile really is. And as well, you need also a bit of perseverance. I often see now clients that tell me, yeah, we worked for 2 or 3 sprints and I don't have any results. It means that it takes time. It takes time to have this whole new way of working. It's not something that can change overnight. If you really want people to work in a different way, it takes time and you have to help them to get there. Another thing that's really one of the pitfalls I see is lack of trust. Lack of trust on 2 sides. First of all, within the team, and the second one is trust from management. To begin with the first one, you can only achieve results when you have trust. And that's also seen in the Lencioni pyramid you see on the slide. You see many times that teams focus on results and focus on team responsibility. It's often the first question I get: what will the results be in 2 weeks? Or what's our responsibility? What is our accountability? And that's what you can see in the Lencioni pyramid, that are the top 2. So first of all, make sure you have the basis, and that's trust. And then you can have shared norms and values. And if you have those 2, then you can talk about commitment. And in the end, then you will talk about results. So you see many times that trust is lacking in the team, and then you cannot focus on results. Then trust by management. Let's be honest, it is a whole new way of working Agile. And it sometimes feels like losing control because teams, they are now autonomous or they are empowered. And it sometimes feels like losing control. But I believe that it's even, you get control back, but another way of control. So you have to trust the team. You have to trust the team on their competencies, experiences, and that they will do in the best way they can to deliver the service or product you ask from them. But as management, what you really have to give the team is the boundaries in which they can behave and in the boundaries in which they can deliver. The dot on the horizon is also something that management should give and point out to the teams. And if that is created, teams really will work towards that dot on the horizon. So give the team the trust they need, give them the empowerment they need, but give them also guidelines. And it is really, it's not only you don't lose control, you will get control back in a different way. For example, you can create an overview with an OBEA, and you can also see directly what's going on in the teams. Show respect and make time for the team. And what is really the role of the management is to remove impediments. Show respect, help them, and remove the impediments. The last one is staying a team for too long. It maybe looks a bit strange, but Agile means maneuverability. It is the ability to change and to adapt when needed. This means also that when the work that needs to be done changes, teams may be changed. So if the team does not add value anymore, and it does not add value to the organizational goals anymore, you should consider making new or other teams. Only in this way you have people working and teams that are really working towards the real goals. And if you stay a team because you want to stay a team, you don't add any value. So that's also a real strength of a team, that they really want to create value and they really want to deliver value to the organizational goals. And that's when you really are working Agile. Then, this is the 5 pitfalls I encounter every day when I coach teams. But how to start to become agile? What to do tomorrow? And my first advice will be start small and educate. Educate, coach people on how they have to behave, how they can become agile. Make it grow and take time. And making it grow and taking time, it means only not putting the seed into the ground, but it also means make sure you use the right soil. The soil is kind of the organization. It's kind of the behavior people strive through. It's like how to behave, what kind of culture you have, or what example you give. Really have the right soil for becoming agile. And then in the end, you will become agile, but it will take time to grow and to grow and to learn. And in the end, then you will being agile. I see often organizations that want to be, in the last part, they want to be the tree in the beginning, but they only have a seed. So be careful what you do. Be careful and help teams grow. Help teams grow and figure out how to become the tree. Then I would like to show you what we as Quint created. There are posters and diagrams that we believe are helpful to create that agile mindset and to create an agile enterprise. It shows and it helps people understand what agile is all about and what are the elements of agile. It will be sent back to you as a follow-up of this webinar. And from my side then, I would just ask Alex, are there any questions?
Yes, there are, Gwendolyn. Thank you so much for your excellent presentation today. I think let's go ahead and jump into the first question that was asked, and that is, how can management be assured that the teams are moving in the same and right direction?
Good question. I get that a lot because that's also about having control and knowing that the teams are going towards the dot on the horizon. There are two things in this, because if you say to a team, you're now an autonomous team, you can do whatever you want, they are sure will go a different way than the team that's next to them. So if you have a department with 9 teams, you really want to set boundaries, or you want to set the dot on the horizon to assure that they go in the same direction. So there are two things that you can do. First of all, you need to make sure as product owners and leadership to set the dot on the horizon, where to go. Where do you want to go to? And you can compare this to a highway. Just create this road, create the dot, where to go, and create the boundaries. Create the boundaries and let those teams drive toward the end of the road. So the teams may know or are allowed to know how they drive and which route they drive, but they're not allowed to go off the road. They have to stay on the road and have to go to that dot. So if you have these boundaries, and these boundaries can be, do not put anything in the cloud, or use version X from a process tool, or these kind of boundaries you have to set as an organization, because if you don't, then teams will go a different way. But if you do that, you will have a good structure for teams in how they can behave and how they can move.
Great, thank you. And the next question that we have here, Gwendolyn, is how do I keep people motivated in the new way of working?
Yeah, that's a real good question as well, because motivation is key. Motivation is one of the most important things. And what I do believe, and I see when I coach people in Agile teams, they're really happy that they have more empowerment. They're really trusted because of their capabilities and their knowledge. In an Agile team, you are responsible end to end. So people really like to have this empowerment and to really get the service or the software from A to B. So that's what really keeps them motivated, because they feel that they are that they add value to the product. So if they have the feeling they adding value, then that's how you keep them motivated.
Great, thank you, Gwendolyn. And This question that we have here, Gwendolyn, is what roles require specialized Agile training?
Yes, there are different roles that also need different training, but I believe when you start with a team, they all need to have the same understanding of what is Agile, how to start with it, what are do's and don'ts, what is the mindset, and it all starts with the basic training. I think in the beginning that is enough to start with, just as an Agile awareness training on how does it work, and maybe a bit more if you have really DevOps the way of working into your organization, then you can use the DevOps training as well. But it all starts with having the same understanding and knowledge of what is Agile. What do you want to achieve in your organization with Agile? So both. First of all, have Agile training, the basics, Agile awareness kind of, and also the second one is what does the organization want to achieve with this Agile training?
Awesome. And just looking at the time here, I think we're going to need to cut this one a little bit short. I see that there are a few additional questions here that went unanswered, but don't worry, I'm going to make sure that they are forwarded on to Gwendolyn, and she will provide a response for you that will come in the form of a follow-up, so don't worry about that. So we're just going to go ahead and quickly wrap up here. Thank you all for joining. Please go ahead and check out www.quintgroup.com. We offer an assortment of other content such as white papers, blogs that are also written by our consultants on Agile, DevOps, Lean, and more. And if you'd like to get started, we do offer all sorts of Agile training. Those are also listed on our website. You can come to your organization, train your teams. Gwendolyn herself can come and help you go ahead and get started with this stuff. And also, like she mentioned at the end, included in the follow-up will be some of those very helpful posters that we've developed, and they're hanging up all around our office, and they're starting to hang up around some of the offices of our clients as well. Thank you all for joining today, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.